Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store.
Oh boy.
Delighted to be joined.
That's a mouthful, man.
Delighted to be joined by soon-to-be Hall of Famer Joe Goossen. Joe, you're here for the Ryan Garcia fight week.
Yes.
How has Ryan Garcia been in camp? Are you happy with how well he's prepared and the mental space he's in?
Oh, Ryan is a monster right now. He's, he's cutting weight. I mean, today is Wednesday, so the weigh-in. Today is Wednesday. The weigh-in's Friday, so he's got 2 more days. But he's been in the high 30s and low 40s for the past month, which is really good. So he's gotten used to the light weight already, and there will be no difficulty, as far as I can see, of making that 36 weight on Friday. It's been going great. The camp has been unreal. Ryan has been. This is my 3rd fight with him, and he is. Each fight progressively has gotten better and better, and this camp, I think, really peaked at the right time. I think the challenge is at the right time, in the challenge of Tank, a formidable challenge, I might add. All you can do is what we did. I think the camp, they say 100%. I think it was 120% this camp. That's how good it was. I couldn't imagine doing it any better than we did it.
You've mentioned this camp as being possibly the best one you've ever had, and you've worked with some elite level fighters. We
Yes.
mentioned the legendary Corrales and all these other fighters. I know you've worked with Amir Khan as well. So what has been the difference between this camp with Ryan Garcia and how well he's done in comparison with maybe some of the other camps you've had? Is it just specifically how he's performing, how he's approached it? What separates this camp from the others?
Well, that's a great question, because, just like every fight is different than another fight. There's elements that are always different. You can still have a great fight, 3 great fights, but the elements are different. I've had great training camps, no doubt. The Michael Nunn camps back in the 80s, the Relas camps in the late 80s and all the way through the mid 90s. Those, we went away to mountaintops and really secluded ourselves, isolated ourselves. Those were very difficult camps. They lasted anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks, being away from friends, family, quite frankly, civilization, because they were up in the mountains of Big Bear or in San Diego, way up in the mountains in a place called Pine Valley or Campo. And they were truly training camps. All of them difficult. All of them, when I say difficult, being away from, civilian life is very difficult. But it pays off eventually in the end. So I could go forward, I could talk about the Corrales. Corrales came from Vegas, so he set up camp in L.A. He had a couple of guys that would, stay with him, keep everything on the straight and narrow. And Diego was just, he was a perfect, student of, the gym and training, and worked so hard and diligently. That's why he was able to get off the mat 2 times against Castillo. You have to be in, superior shape, beyond 100%, to fight that type of fight and then get off the mat twice in the 10th, turn it around in your favor. So these are all great camps. Now, Ryan's specifically, they're different because Ryan is different. He's a very unique individual. I say it over and over again, but I'm just speaking the truth. He's unique. He's got the qualities of a coach. It's like some in the NFL, the National Football League. You've got quarterbacks that are very high caliber thinkers, and they're able to command that field, and like a field general. They're sometimes as smart as the coaches, the head coaches that are there. Now, that being said, I gotta feel Ryan Garcia could be anything he wants to be, as well as he's going to be a great champion for a long time. But if he ever decided to do coaching, he would be incredible because he is so versatile in his thinking and calculating that it impresses me, and I've been doing this for a long time. So, like I say, and I'll say it again, it bears repeating because it's true, you don't necessarily train Ryan Garcia, and people could take that negatively. You do train him, but on the other hand, you have to collaborate with him because he's got his ideas and his thoughts, and they ring true 99% of the time. So for a 24-year-old, he's got the mind of a brilliant coach as well. And this is why he's going to be almost impossible to beat. See, he's not winging it. He's thought this all out, and he's blueprinted this thing and war-gamed it, and he's quite exceptional in that regard.
Ryan Garcia for many years has been calling out Gervonta Davis, even when he was mandatory for Devin Haney, and he said to Devin, I want Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
So this fight for him has been going on, I suppose, in his head for years. He's probably mapped this out. Do you think that he has seen for many years maybe flaws in Gervonta's game? And Gervonta is a world-class athlete and boxer, but do you think he has seen flaws in his game where years gone by where he says, you know what, I can exploit that. I've got all the tools and the arsenal and the weaponry to beat a fighter like Gervonta Davis.
Well, you know, you make great points. Matt. I would say that Ryan Garcia thinks he's the best. And so he wants to fight other fighters that other people think are the best. That may be excluding him from that number one spot, and he doesn't like it. So he went after, I think, the guy that, you know, a large, portion of the boxing public thought was the best fighter pound for pound out there. Ryan Garcia knows he can beat him. He believes he can beat him. He promises he'll beat him. And this is the great thing about Ryan. He is not, some guys will shy away from that. I've seen it before. They will enjoy their position as it is instead of striving for a higher position by bigger and more difficult challenges. So that's what Ryan has done. He's put himself in a position where he wants the ultimate challenge, which he thinks, and I believe, he will conquer and win. So, again, it just goes to Ryan's qualities as a person, as a fighter. He's so talented. And, again, you might be entirely correct. I won't verify it for you, but he might think there are flaws that he feels that he will capitalize on.
How important is it for both men, the fact that they've made such a big fight in boxing, when boxing really needs this fight? Mm-hmm. We see a lot of big fights fall through. We're not seeing Spence and Crawford, although we hear maybe being asked. How important is it, no matter who comes up short? In your mind, obviously, Team Garcia, we're winning that fight. But how important is it for Gervonta or Ryan, whoever loses, that the boxing world uplifts them for taking this opportunity while they're in the 20s, while they're not waiting until they get old to have these fights, and they're fighting in the prime, because these are the fights that keep the sport alive?
All right, and so your big question is, to sum it up,
how important is it that whoever comes up short, that we don't, as media and boxing fans, crucify them for losing, and we uplift them just for taking this fight? Because it's a huge fight, and we often see the best don't fight the best maybe until it's too late.
Look, just to get to this show right here, I mean, the fight sold out in an hour, first day. Both guys have a great fan base. Both guys on their own separately can fill up 20,000 seaters. That doesn't happen too often. When Leonard and Hearns fought, Leonard came out on top. It was a great fight, but it certainly didn't damage the career of Tommy Hearns afterwards. And you could go over and over and discuss so many fights like that. Or Guayo and Pryor just comes to mind. One that you wanted to see over and over again, no matter who won or who lost. You just wanted to see them fight. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying. Again, this is a fight that these two guys made happen. And they're not going to lose their fan base, okay? We're certainly not going to lose our fan base. In fact, we're going to probably gain a lot of new fans and have people come over to our side after this fight. So, it's a win-win all the way around.
And finally, last one from me, how proud are you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame boxing? Obviously, legendary family in the sport, everything you've done, it must mean a lot for you. Obviously, your brother in the Hall of Fame as well. It must be a real sort of poignant moment for you and your family and the legacy that you're creating.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Number one, I would have never in a million years, when my brother Dan and I and other family members, we started this business in 1980-81. I had just come off a 10, 11-year apprenticeship, you might say, with another fighter from 1970 through 81, a guy named Randy Shields, who fought 6 world champions. He fought Sugar Ray Leonard in 78, Wilfredo Benitez in 78, Pepino Cuevas in 79, Tommy Hearns in 81, Johnny Bumpus and Milt McCory, all 6 world champions. So I got to, his father was the head trainer. I was Randy's best friend to this day, and I served my apprenticeship with his father. That being said, so I got thrust into the big time early. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience, taught me a lot. So by the time 80, 81 rolled around, a few of the brothers, we started this business. We just thought it was a perfect evolution for that. And I don't think we ever thought we'd end up in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I knew eventually my brother Dan would after a number of decades, and I was so proud of him. God rest his soul. He was a great man and a wonderful brother and a terrific businessman. And I think the thing that I hold most dear, Matt, is that I'll be joining Dan in the Hall of Fame. That means more to me than any individual accomplishment I've ever had. Because without Dan, I would never be here. That's a fact, because I always said Dan was the brains and I was the brawn. He loved the office and hated the gym. I loved the gym and hated the office. It was like Starsky and Hutch. We were the perfect combination, and it culminated in this, and I thank God that we're going to be together, and we've made a little bit of history together.
Well, look, huge congratulations from us, everything you've done in the sport. I'm glad it's going to be a special moment for you. Yeah. We look forward to this fight on Saturday, and hopefully we can catch up again. Thank you for understanding what I'm saying, because I know you struggle with my accent.
Yeah, I'm working very hard, listening very closely, Matt. Like I always say, you guys invented the English language, but it's really hard.
We destroyed it too.
No, I'm not going to say that. It's actually a lovely accent, it would just take some getting used to. I think the American accent is just a lot flatter. You guys have a lot of lilt to it, and it's kind of musical in a way. So I like it.
I appreciate your time.
You got it, man.
Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, brother.